There are people who don't just experience life, they absorb it. They walk into a room and feel the tension before anyone speaks. They hear what wasn't said, notice the shift in tone, sense the emotional weather around them. And because they feel deeply, they love deeply. Yet strangely, these are often the people who get labeled as too much, too emotional, hard to love. If you've ever felt like your heart was both a blessing and a burden, this message is for you. Not because there is anything wrong with you, but because you deserve to understand why you love the way you do and why it has been so misunderstood. Being highly sensitive does not make you weak. It makes you open. It makes your nervous system tuned to life in high definition, while others experience it in low volume. But in relationships, this depth can become painful. Now, you don't just feel emotions, you inhale them. When you feel, it is not a passing sensation that brushes the surface of your skin. It moves through you like air filling the lungs. Emotions don't visit you politely. They occupy your whole inner space. Joy arrives as a warmth that lights your chest. Sadness settles into your bones. Tension tightens your breath. You don't witness emotions from a distance. You become the place where they live. This is why people sometimes misunderstand you. To them, feelings are background noise. To you, they are surround sound. They try to tell you to calm down, to think logically, to not make a big deal out of it. What they don't understand is that there is no switch you can flip to mute the inner experience. Your body registers everything, tone, silence, pauses, the energy in the room, and it responds honestly, even when your mind wishes it wouldn't. You may have learned this sensitivity long ago, without even realizing it. Perhaps as a child you needed to be alert to the emotional climate around you. You studied voices, footsteps, expressions, because your sense of safety depended on it. That same attentiveness now lives in you as an adult. It is not you being dramatic. It is your nervous system remembering how to survive. So when someone you love pulls away, even slightly, you feel the absence like cold air entering a warm room. When they are hurt, your body aches as if the pain were your own. When conflict arises, you don't just think about it, you carry it. It stays in your chest at night, in your stomach, in the morning, in the way your shoulders tense without your permission. And because you feel this deeply, you also love deeply. Your emotions do not skim the surface, they dive. You don't give half presence or half attention. Your heart moves fully toward the people you care about, and that level of aliveness can overwhelm those who are not used to meeting life so directly. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling this way. You are not too much. You are simply built without emotional armor, experiencing life without the filters many others rely on. It can be exhausting, yes, but it is also the source of your empathy, your intuition, your capacity to understand what others cannot say out loud. You don't just feel emotions, you breathe them in. And in a world that tries so hard not to feel, that makes you rare. Why you need depth, not small talk, and that scares people who live at the surface. You were never built for conversations that stay safely on the surface. Weather, schedules, casual jokes, you can do them, but they leave you feeling strangely empty, like eating food without nourishment. Your mind keeps reaching past the words, listening for the heartbeat underneath them. You don't just want to know what someone did today, you want to know what moved them, where they hurt, what they're afraid to say out loud. You are drawn to depth the way lungs are drawn to air. You long for connection where masks fall away, where silence is comfortable, where truth is allowed to exist without being polished. You want to sit with someone and feel that both of you are actually there, not performing, not pretending, not playing roles you learned just to be accepted. But this hunger for depth often unsettles people who have spent years surviving by staying on the surface. For them, small talk isn't meaningless, it's armor. It keeps the water shallow, so they don't have to meet the parts of themselves they've locked away. When you ask real questions, when your presence invites honesty, they may feel exposed as if you've turned on a light they weren't ready for. They might say you're intense, too serious, too emotional. What they're really saying is, I don't know how to go where you live. It's not your desire for depth that is the problem. It's their unfamiliarity with their own. You sense when someone is hiding behind humor, or over-explaining, or filling the air with distraction. You feel the gap between their words and their truth, and that gap hurts. You'd rather have one real conversation than 100 empty ones. You'd rather sit quietly in honesty than talk endlessly in pretense. You are not asking for drama. You are not asking for perfection. You are asking to meet a human heart without its mask. You want to know and be known, not admired, not entertained, not tolerated. And yes, this can be frightening for those who live at the surface, because depth requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires courage. Many people were taught that feelings are dangerous, needs are shameful, and openness invites pain. So when they stand in front of someone like you, someone who is willing to feel, they are confronted with everything they have avoided. But your need for depth is not a flaw to be corrected. It is a sign that your soul refuses to live on emotional crumbs. You are wired for genuine connection. You do not thrive in shallow